I'm going to go straight to the against in this category. The category, again, of resource management is removing the essential constraints that define product management. You're not even doing product management at that point if you're removing all the constraints. I mean, the professional product managers depend on working within organizational limitations. Like the reason you have to do stakeholder management and have the quad and the whole podcast we did on stakeholder management, if you're a product manager, you definitely should check out Arguing Agile 201, Mastering Stakeholder Communications and Management, for all the tips that we had. I mean, we had a whole podcast. How long was it? 48 minutes. Definitely worth 48 minutes at double speed or whatever. Definitely worth 20-something minutes.
Have a coffee and a refill.
And removing that and not having to deal with that because it's just you. You know, you don't talk to anyone.
That's the quickest path, right? You don't have to go through approvals or any kind of political decision-making gambits.
It seems, on one hand, that's great. I mean, that really clears a field for you to get things done. On the other hand, yikes.
Well, you don't learn anything how to navigate those very stormy waters that exist in most organizations. So as long as you just keep building things for yourself, you're fine.
You know, we're going to come back to so later on the podcast, I think about point 7 or 6 or 7, we're going to come back to what you just said. Is now that you have nobody to challenge you, and you have no stakeholders to manage, you have no reason to improve your communication skill.
That's right.
You have no reason to go out of your way to make sure people are included, and now you're basically sabotaging yourself.
Let's leave that one for now.
But the other one is you never learn to justify resource application to skeptical executives or engineering managers or team leads or whatever.
Yep.
You never learn how to put your bets into the form that it gets accepted. You can pitch it and it gets accepted by executives or whoever you need to finance people.
That's
whatever.
A critical skill set for any PM, right?
You don't do those things.
No, because you have nobody to convince at that point.
Although the reason that I'm pitching them as if they're bad, but actually they're in the against category because I can make the case, and I don't even need to have to stretch to make this case, that this is all a waste of time. You're building great products for users that love them, even though that user is you. And maybe you have like community people that love it too. But all that other stuff is like corporate bureaucracy.
So stay as a solopreneur, basically, for the rest of your life. Because the minute you want to go back to working for someone or go to work for someone, all those essential skills are going to, the lack of those rather, are going to drown you.
It's going to be difficult to keep that resume updated? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because you won't know how.
Oh, no. So if we're in the category of resource management prioritization, self-building teaches the purest form of prioritization.
Everything is MVP.
Everything. Absolutely.
Everything's critical.
Everything. Yeah, you don't work on any of them. I'm just doing this because I'm kind of chilling and wasting time kind of features. You're working on things because you need those things.
Right. And you're dismissing things that you think are the wishes and desires, right? You think you know the wants and the needs, and you're going to focus on those.
So as an example, to people that might be like, well, what are you talking about here? Like in the tool suite that I developed for the podcast, one of the things I always wanted to do is I wanted to add more things to the thumbnails.
Yeah.
Like any image I want or whatever. And I can do that. I can do that. I do have the ability to do that with the tools. But I wanted to have like a gallery of like, meme images and like the little angry face dude from the internet. Anyway. And I want to have like a gallery of that kind of stuff. It's cool to have and I would use it. But I can add any image to a thumbnail the way I have the thumbnails now. I just don't keep them around. I just add them and then they go in the thumbnail. Maybe it's not the best example. It's the example that comes to mind. I always wanted to have a gallery that goes with the show that's like, these are the repeating images that I constantly use. Like I'm always using the little thought bubbles with the speech and whatnot and thumbnails. I love using that kind of stuff. I have to go and get it from somewhere every time,
right? Which
is a little bit of a pain, but also like not enough of a pain for me to actually go and develop a whole feature to have like, here's a database table that stores them, and then here's a place that they get stored, and I pull them back and I use them, but then they're different than the thumbnail. They're different than the people images, and the people images go here and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care enough to think about any of that. 0.01 seconds in my brain to be like, nope, don't care.
Yeah, because you're not asking anyone, you're not listening to anyone, you're the decision maker.
There is a lot to say on the advantage of eliminating a lot of stakeholder noise. Because a lot of product management, especially in larger companies that I've been in, a lot of your time is taken up by stakeholder noise. You have to listen to people because they're in important seats of influence around the business and they want to talk to you about a concern or whatever. You got to listen to them and figure out ways to tactfully say no, because you can't really say no. And so you say, oh, I'll put it in the backlog, and you have all these tricks and whatnot. You build for yourself, you don't do any of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I agree. There's a lot to be said for that, right? So if you're a product manager who is building it for yourself and you have a deep backlog, how's that feasible? Because you're only working on emergent stuff that you think about, dream about right away.
I don't think
you don't put things in the backlog like that. You never suffer from that.
Yeah. I don't think you would need to. But also, the other thing that supports this, strong prioritization skills, is it teaches you to build MVPs.
Yeah.
You're not playing the game of like, well, it's an MVP, but it's got 1 million features, and we're putting here's a deadline, and no matter what the deadline is, it's the way too early or whatever. You're not doing that. I mean, you really are doing. I know I want to build a gallery that shows thumbnails and meme images and this and that and whatever. But how about I just build all of the thumbnails that I've used in a previous show in one place and just start with that.
Right.
Because I can do that pretty quickly because I know what the thumbnails are. It's not a bunch of random images. They're going to be in order. I'll know exactly what I get when I pull them back, and if it's right, because I'll be able to look at the thumbnails and see and I can build that. So if you're, and that's not even MVP. I mean, MVP would just be like a screen mock-up, and I would see it.
Right.
Which I do that with Claude. Actually, I do that a lot with Claude. I have a lot of back-end jobs, for example, that run with the podcast. I have to generate thumbnails. I have to upload things to YouTube, stuff like that, and I need to know the status of the back-end jobs. So
you need some sort of an orchestrator.
Yeah, but I have an orchestrator because I use AWS. So the background jobs get kicked off, Lambdas run, stuff's flying around under the hood, right? But there's not one place you can go to say like, hey, let me see all my in-flight stuff. You know, because they're like, oh, I'll go to episodes, see what's uploading, then go over here to thumbnails and see the thumbnails are in, then go over here and to see whatever. I just want to know, hey, I'm going to go make a coffee or go in the shower, or like, about how long is it going to take for all my background jobs to be done and my episodes are ready to work? And I just want to go to one place to see all my stuff that's rendering.
That's reasonable.
Rather than, like, to build that would take me a long time. I mean, it would take me a day of development effort to build all that. It's not really a long time. To me, a day of development effort is a long time. But if I can see a mock-up, like a wireframe that is like clickable, that I can see how, and Claude's pretty good at generating a first pass wireframe. If I can see the wireframe and I'm like, this isn't really like, doesn't really give me the visibility I wanted.
You pivot quickly.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. Yeah, I just don't want to do it. So like, I am the audience for the MVP, and I'm also the creator of the MVP, but I'll know right away. So that's like building stuff for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I know right away. I easily could be showing that to somebody, and if they don't jump out of their seat, like, that's the thing about MVPs, which we could do a revisit the MVP podcast. But one of the things about MVPs is, like, if people don't jump out of their seat super excited, you have a problem with your MVP you're showing to people. And a lot of people don't realize that, like, the best pushback you're going to get from users when you show them your MVP or wireframes or clickable wireframes or whatever it is it's pretty good. Yeah, it's all right. Oh, it looks nice.
All right.
It looks nice. That means they hate it and they're not going to use it. Like, that's what that means. And like that process is broken for normal people that are not product managers, that have not been doing this for years and years and years. Yeah, people are not going to tell you they hate something.
They never say those words. So if you're a build it yourself person and you're prioritizing things, right? Do you have delighters in there as per like the Kano model, or do you just simply say, to heck with that, I'm just going to give them exactly what, not them, but me.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're the consumer.
That's a good question. I would say a lot of the delighters probably get deprioritized when you're not building for somebody else. For example, when you're uploading or when you're loading a screen and it takes a long time, I look at that stupid loading spinny thing or whatever all the time saying, I should really replace that with some kind of silly animated logo or a game or something. Yeah. I absolutely never do, because it's just not worth the effort. You know. Also, I hate front end development, so that's it. Yeah. We really beat this category up. I don't know if I have a great takeaway here. Is if there's a way to create artificial resource constraints. I think just tracking what you're working on back to features and I'm trying to think about a way where you can emulate what a normal product manager would have to say of, like, these are the bets that I was betting on and this is how it turned out. Something along the lines of, here's the bets that I had and here's how long it took. Because what I'm trying to get out of it is I'm trying to get a way to judge your bets out of it. Some sort of tool for retrospective. It's not like the time tracking one really bugs me, and I wouldn't want to suggest that, but I'm trying to get something for you that keeps the pressure on so you don't just run away and go off on a tangent and create something that like was not important. I'm just trying to build some checks and balances when you're working by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one of the things to consider is, and this really falls back into the artificial constraints, right? So you just have a limit for the amount of time you're going to spend on it, because when you're building it yourself, really it's time more than anything else. And when you reach that, just say, well, what have I got, right? Is it good enough? If so, I'm done.
The old Pomodoro clock,
yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
And then just, if it stands upright, even if it doesn't like waltz and dance, that's fine. Just move on from there.
The Pomodoro sessions would be good. Set up a number that you're willing to pay. That would be good. What was the Alfonso used to say that he used to do Pomodoro sessions for coding, and I can't remember what his session length is. I don't remember. 2 hours.
The recommendation thing is, yeah. I mean, the Pomodoro techniques focus more on tasks than working on product. So you have to make it your own. But for tasks, it's 20 minutes on, 5 minutes break for 3 sessions, and then take a longer break, which would be like your lunch break or something.
Okay, so you'd have to figure out for yourself what your...
Hour and a half doesn't seem unreasonable.
For me, it's an hour and a half. It's 90 minutes for me. After 90 minutes of working on the same thing, I start squirming. I start complaining to my boss. And because I'm working solo, it's annoying.
You complain to yourself?
Yeah, complain to me. And I don't want to hear myself.